What's up, people? I am JWil. This is Inspire God's People, where we balance faith and business to guide you to your purpose. And today we're going to talk about 3 things that you must do in 2022. Let's get into it. First on my list is you must switch from a new year to a new day mindset. And this should not be a surprise to anybody who has ever listened to the podcast. Our 2020 New Year episode was entitled Happy New Day. My homeboy Lavelle Neal joined me for that show, and we go super in-depth on this topic and convincing you to switch from a new year mindset to a new day mindset. But for those of you who haven't listened to that and refuse to click the link in the description of this show and refuse to subscribe and listen and show love, I'll break it down shortly for you. Think about it this way. When you're trying to build a building, you can't just look at the building itself. You gotta have good bricks. And at the end of the day, sometimes we come into a new year and we looking at the year as a whole. And I'ma just be real with y'all. A year is too much to try to digest at one time. Having a good year just means you had a whole bunch of good days. You know what I'm saying? It's an old saying, my good days outweigh my bad days. That's what equals a good year. So you might be feeling overwhelmed trying to take on the whole year at one time in one chunk. Break it down into bricks, man. Like, you build those bricks, you'll have a beautiful building. But sometimes we focus so much on the building that the bricks don't look right. They can't hold up over time. So we want to have some good days. What does that really mean for you? It means I'm going to switch my mindset from having all these New Year's resolutions, things that are just too much to try to do at one time that I can never accomplish. I'm going to break those things down into bricks and start saying, okay, what are the small things I could do day by day? Wake up, and every day represents a new year. Happy new day. You wake up and you can start today. That's the beautiful thing about the happy new day mindset versus a new year mindset, is that the days, like, you don't have to wait for the calendar to turn it all to a new year. You could just wake up again. And if you mess up today or you mess up the next day, guess what? You get another day, Lord willing, to try to do it again. The point is, in order to have a good year, you got to have a whole bunch of good days. So you switch that mindset, and I'm pretty sure that you're going to start seeing results, and you could keep score, and you could, you know what I'm saying? You could feel good about yourself when you get a few good days under your belt, and then you on the way to having a great year, man. So that's number 1. Switch from a new year mindset to a new day mindset. The second thing that you must do in 2022 is eliminate unrealistic expectations. Now, I know sometimes our goals get out of control, and I don't know if it's just to make us feel good about ourselves or what. I believe in big goals. I believe in scary goals, but I believe in realistic goals. I'm gonna be realistic about the things that I write down and say I wanna accomplish, meaning this, that whatever I wanna accomplish, however big that is, like, I have to also sacrifice at a large level as well. So I gotta be willing to put in a lot to get a lot. And if I'm not willing to sacrifice to get whatever that result is, I shouldn't have that as a goal. I'm not willing to rehearse to be a great drummer and go on tour. So why would I have it on my goals for 2022? I want to be the number 1 drummer in the world. I'm not willing to sacrifice and put in the practice and rehearsal time, and I'm not even a drummer right now. Matter of fact, I haven't been a good drummer since 8th grade. I played from 4th to 8th grade. I was pretty good. If I would have put in some time, I could have been somewhere. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the natural talent is if I am not cultivating the talent, if I'm not practicing, making myself better. So what does that mean for you? I don't want to see you have expectations that are greater than the sacrifice that you're willing to make. It's really simple. Yes, you can do the impossible, but are you willing to sacrifice the impossible? And maybe some people don't even want the impossible. You should know what you want. Your goals should be your goals. Greatness always takes some level of sacrifice. And I know we don't want to hear that, because a lot of times we just want something to happen overnight, or we want to feel like, hey, look, I became very successful and put in very little effort. But the reality is that's not the key to success, people. It ain't gonna happen like that, man. I just know it's not. And maybe you'll get lucky and you'll be that person just like lottery winners. But the problem with that is it doesn't last. But when you put in that sacrifice and you give in that effort and you have those realistic expectations, making goals based on the sacrifice that you are really willing to give, the amount that you're willing to practice, having those realistic expectations, then guess what? Realistic is real. It happens. Some of us keep having these crazy unrealistic expectations. The problem with unrealistic expectations is they sound real good in January. But by the time you're in April or May, they're unattainable. Like, you're nowhere near them. It's close to impossible to happen based on the level of effort you've given. And then you just tire yourself out and you don't even try anymore from there. So the whole point of having realistic expectations is you want to have goals and things that are actually attainable based on your capability, your will, your desire, all of that. Like, you want to actually be able to obtain these goals. Don't just put a bunch of impossible stuff on a piece of paper just to make people feel happy, just so you can make a post about it on Instagram or something and say, look, I got these crazy goals. Goals only matter when they're accomplished and achieved. And so that is the whole point of writing goals. We want to see you have some wins on the board. So you must get rid of unrealistic expectations. The third thing that you must do in 2022 is find a mentor near or far. Now, I know based on who you are, where you from, maybe your dreams and goals are so big that you can't find anybody around you that has that drive or that has done what you're trying to do. And you like, man, I can't find no mentor, bro. Like, I don't see anybody. I don't know anybody. Cool. You know what? Just like, right. You got YouTube, social media. Let me tell you something, man. Near or far, you can have a mentor that don't even know you exist. That's the beautiful thing about this technology that we have today. I've had people that teach me how to change a water faucet or a sink in the bathroom, whatever. And I never met him a day in my life. You know where I met him at? You know where I found a mentor at? YouTube. Just YouTube the right stuff. See, that's the thing, man. These tools that we have, they're so powerful because we could use them to search the right thing or the wrong thing. We could be scrolling on these sites all day long, looking at stuff that does not produce anything towards our goals. So that's something I want you to be thinking about when you scrolling these sites and when you're on social media. Look, do what you want to do. But I'm telling you, one thing that I'm very intentional about is that if I'm gonna spend time on these sites, it needs to be something that produces an outcome for me. I have to have an ROI. I cannot invest all my time and not get something out of it. Find somebody that is similar to your thinking, that is a little further than you or a little more experienced than you, and watch them. Listen to what they say compared to what you say. What I don't want you to do is copy people. Mentorship is not about just copy and paste or watch somebody and try to act like you're at their level. The whole purpose of mentorship is to actually learn, not to steal ideas and all those type of things, but to actually learn from someone and to actually be encouraged, because the reality of it is that one of the most powerful things about a mentor is that they've been where you're going. So they can tell you some of the things to expect on that road. And it can be real encouraging, especially when you never been down that road yourself before. You never traveled those streets. So it's like, yeah, I'm going somewhere I never been, don't know anyone that's been there. Find you a mentor. Now, what's even better than social media is a real life mentor. And sometimes it's just a matter of you putting in the effort. Don't always wait for people to offer you to mentor them. Be bold, man. Like, ask. If you meet someone, you know how people be like, oh, here's my number, call me. And you never call them? Call this time. Here's my email. Just let me know if you ever need anything. Guess what? This time, need something. Let them know you need something. And not a handout, but be willing to learn. Here's one thing I know about successful people. They are willing to teach you how to do something, but they don't like giving handouts, because most successful, especially like self-made successful people, put in a lot of work and effort, and they really look, they admire people who are coming behind them, who are willing to give that same effort. They're really bothered by people who just want a handout, who haven't put in the work, who don't want to put in the work, and they just expect something in return. So in 2022, you must find a mentor, someone to encourage you and guide you along the way. And if you can't find them, guess what? Listen to my podcast. This is where we balance faith and business to do what? Guide you to your purpose. Inspire God's people. Hopefully you're inspired today. These are 3 things that you must do in 2022, but it's a lot more things that I've learned from 2021, and maybe a couple more things you need to do in 2022 that I'll talk about on this week's podcast. So that's another reason to listen and subscribe. Much love.